So, hi friends. Today we have Vinay with us, who is working as an Agile coach, Scrum Master, and he's leading his organization Center of Excellence (COE). And recently, he got offer from companies like a lot of companies, Wipro, Deloitte, SCL, and many more. And today he's going to share his Wipro Scrum Master interview experience with us. So, welcome, Vinay, and thanks for your time.
Hi Sunand, thank you. First of all, I should give from across the community. I should give you big thanks. Your videos have helped me a lot of, given a lot of confidence and a lot of questions. In fact, I took some notes from your videos and
Yeah,
I have
thanks.
prepared. Yeah,
Thanks.
big
Thanks.
thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So why don't you tell us about yourself, your experience, your agile experience, how you came into this role?
Sure, sure. Yeah, I have overall 10.5 years of experience, and my Agile and Scrum journey started in the year 2016, wherein our organization has decided to transform from traditional project management to the Agile. So that's where I have been identified as a pilot batch. I have been deployed to the US to get hands-on experience on Scrum. So I've been there for 4 months to get training on Scrum and actual experience, and came back to India and formed a team here, pilot project, implemented Scrum here. I think right now our teams are a little bit matured enough. So right now I'm handling two Scrum teams. One Scrum team is established 2 years back. So according to Tuckman's team formation, they are at the performance stage wherein a bit of delegation is happening, very less involvement from my side as a Scrum Master. And other team which is established just 4 months back, which is at norming stage wherein a lot of involvement is there from my side on facilitating and coaching and all this stuff. So yeah, in a nutshell, I have around 4 to 5 years of experience on Agile and Scrum, and I am a PMP certified and PMA ACP certified, and discipline Agile senior Scrum Master as well, and recently completed my Safe Program Consultant, certification along with the uh, ICP ACC Agile Coaching certification as well. Yeah, in a nutshell about myself.
Yeah, great, great. Yeah, you had a quite a good, extensive experience, I must say. Okay, so what do you think about the traditional project management versus agile project management? Is there any kind of differences which you want to highlight?
Sure, sure, definitely. See, since I predominantly belong from traditional project management earlier, I get keep on asking this question in various places, like what is the basic difference. I would say there is a huge difference, wherein in Agile we have few principles, and Agile is known for adaptability, transparency, and inspect and adapt. In short form I call as ATI. So wherein Agile is known for incremental delivery and delivering values in packets, rather than delivering entire after 6 months or 1 year. I keep on telling people about in Agile we will try to involve customer as early as possible, which helps to get feedback early. Wherein you will cross check whether we are sailing in right direction or not. When on contrast to the traditional project management, these things are little difficult. That's how the Agile is known in the market, and in order to build competency and in order to respond to the business agility, you have to follow few methodologies, new methodologies like Scrum, Safe, and Kanban and all those things.
Okay, okay, nice. Okay, so still there is a lot of confusion with respect to Scrum Master role and responsibility.
Hmm.
And so, what do you think? Like, if you have to share your experience, like how a typical day as a Scrum Master, what are the different activities which you are involved with, both like in a normal day or when you are busy with the planning and all? If you want to share something on that part.
Sure, sure, definitely. So my typical day starts as a Scrum Master. It starts a little bit early, when since we have a common agreement of time working hours. So I'll start bit early by seeing various dashboards in the Jira. So basically to understand what is going on, and it's like a preparedness to going for a daily stand-up call. just to have a glimpse on what's going on, what are the impediments yesterday we talk, and what is the current status on that, just to give update on the current and upcoming daily stand up. So after that, just have a checkup with the mails what you have in inbox prior to the stand up. There is a point you need to check prior to the stand up, because it's like you are preparing for the meeting. And when you go to the stand up call, obviously you will hear updates, and basically our resources developers will typically answer three questions, and they'll let us know what are the impediments or what are the dependencies. If you are working in Scrum or Scrum's environment, they'll talk about the dependencies. So as a Scrum Master, we will ask for a call after meeting and try to fix up things. And if the issues are dependent on various operational issues and product owner depend queries and dependencies. Based on that, you have an action plan. And after that, you will as a Scrum Master, what is your next ceremony, what is, if for example at the mid of the sprint, when you are coming near to the sprint review, you will check how things are going on. Are the user stories are enough tested, or DoD is meeting or not. So you will check the readiness of the next Scrum ceremony. And since I am a co-lead for the community of practice, we have a bi-weekly meeting. So we will be setting up the what you call agenda, and identifying the speakers, preparing the presentation and all those things, because it's community of practice where we will share our best practices with the other Scrum teams as well. So, and after that, I'll typically on daily basis, I have a minimum one-on-one with one developer, since I am handling two teams. So in that one-on-one no meeting, I'll try to come up with some powerful questions just to understand how things are going on, in order to check, by asking few questions, you'll come to know by way of answering, and by by his voice, by his voice and tone, by the body language, you can figure it out how things are going on. You by that, which will come with a lot of experience, you will come to understand the particular resource, how he is doing, and take an update. And if he's struggling with anything, try to help, show some, if he's having some personal issues, try to talk, try to show some empathy, use your emotional intelligence. So these kind of things will typically occupy my day. That's how it is, Sanand. Yeah.
Okay, so you are a busy person.
Yes.
Okay, good. So if I have to ask you that which Scrum ceremony you think is the most important in the complete Scrum life cycle, or so what will be your take on that?
So yeah, this question is pretty common across the floor. Since slowly the Scrum usage has been widely used, so people will come with the basic question. But in my opinion, every Scrum event has got its own role. So there is no one ceremony is important among the others. You have, each ceremony has its own role. But in my opinion, I am very much interested in sprint retrospective, because as a Scrum Master, you have a lot of things to do in that. Because in sprint planning, you just have a facilitate, and there is a development team and product owner, they talk and come to a common understanding. And in a sprint review, our development team will give the demo and all those things. And daily stand up, obviously, there are a few updates, and a few impediments discussions happen. But in sprint retrospective, it is a opportunity for inspect and adapt, wherein people really need to talk. It is no, it is a place wherein people have to come up with something to, in order to improve the velocity for the upcoming sprint, or in order to tackle better, come up with better estimation techniques, and whatever the impediments what we have got in the particular sprint. And the end of the sprint, in the sprint retrospective, the discussion should happen. If people are not coming openly and discussing things, there is no point of sprint retrospective. So lot of role, as a Scrum Master, a lot of importance is there. I really love that ceremony, because as I said, currently I'm handling two Scrum teams, right? In one of the Scrum team, in the performing Scrum team, people generally come and talk with the things. They already come prepared for this the ceremony. But with the other team, we need a lot of powerful questions like, hey, X resource, how do you think we can improve the velocity? Since, this is the velocity and this is what the expectation, there is a difference how we want to improve. So these kind of questions will make us them to respond. At least if they are not talking, they'll try to respond to your questions. So in my opinion, I really like sprint retrospective. And for your question, there is no single Scrum ceremony is rank number one. All are equal.
Okay, and sometimes people ask this question in a different way. If we
Mm,
have to remove one Scrum event, which one that will be? So again, the
yeah.
answer will be same. We
Yeah.
cannot remove any one
Ah,
of that Scrum event. So people
yeah.
ask this. This is very generic, common questions nowadays.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
and
thank you. Yep.
in one of the, sorry for that.
Yeah,
In
please.
one of the instance with the performing stage team, I recently heard that we can remove daily stand up call because everybody is working, things are going on well. Since we are at performing stage, we can remove daily stand up call. So it is an indication that team is at a saturation level, wherein team you need a lot of a little bit of mentoring needed to stick on to the basic ceremonies. So you need to tell about the team the impact of the daily stand up, and then revisit the entire Scrum ceremonies again. Try to tell them the basics and try to make them realize the importance of the daily stand ups.
Okay, I would maybe take this question in other forum, maybe in some other video,
Hmm.
because I have a little bit different opinion on that. But let's not discuss on this right now.
Sure.
Okay, okay. So next is a little bit tricky and a situational one.
Hmm.
So what you will do if your, let's say, your PO will come in between the sprint and he want to change the scope,
Hmm.
or he want to add a couple of user story in middle of the sprint. So how you will tackle this kind of scenarios?
Sure, sure. Yeah, it quite happens, in the sprints. So the easiest way to tackle that is, first of all, understand what product owner is coming up with. Okay, and then try to see for the every sprint we have a committed goal from the team. Okay, with the new user stories, are they really impacting to the current sprint or not? Check with that. Okay, if they are really related and if they are making impact, then take those things to the team. Let team decide to pull up that into the current sprint at the cost of removing some least priority items. Make product owner realize that if you want to pull something, there should be something has to be removed, and bring product owner and the team on the common page, wherein is that really required for this current sprint or it can be tackled in the next sprint. If this really required for the current sprint and is impacting to our current sprint goal, then have a negotiation with the team, what stories can be tackled in the next sprint. So there is a fair negotiation should happen. And by the doing this exercise, the product owner will also be aware of the next time if I want to bring something, yes, I have to compromise on few user stories. Because as a scrum as a team capacity, we will be loading the team with the user stories, and you'll have a buffer, and team can negotiate. If they are in the real within the buffer, they can include. If they are not in the buffer, they need to compromise on few least priority user stories. So bring to all together product owner and team and let them decide. Don't put your finger into that, because you are not developing that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, correct. And the other one is most commonly asked question again one more time. So as a Scrum Master, most of the time you might have encountered a couple of conflict. So would you like to share some of your experience or example with respect to conflict?
Sure, sure. So recently, in one of the team, what happened is there is a conflict between the senior team and a senior team member and a junior team member. Okay, especially with the estimation what we are doing it. So uh, when the junior team says X number, and again senior team says Y number, so simply not coming to the what you call common figure, why that figure has been given by the X team member and why the figure has been given by the Y team member. So let us have a open discussion. and bring those people to common agreement. Okay. And sometimes this thing happened repeatedly for me in the few sprints, and I realized that the senior team member is wantedly doing this conflicting this junior team member. Then I had a one-on-one with the senior team member, and sat with him, and discussed what is the impact of what is happening here. If you really contrast, come up with some valid points, and if you really want to confront somebody, have a healthy discussion. Without that discussion, what is the impact it's going to create for the current sprint? And being a senior team member, you should create a safe environment to come everybody talk openly. Okay. So the and this thing now with the senior team member, it didn't finish with only one-on-one single time. I had to sit for a couple of times and understood, make him realize the importance of him being a senior scrum team member. You will play a major role on impacting the sprint goal. So with the continuous 2 or 3 discussions, I could able to settle the things. And also as a scrum master, you should completely listen the stories from both sides. You should not jump into the conclusion straight away. Okay, you just give the sense of feeling to the other person that my version has been witnessed completely, rather than for example, I do understand the things with my intelligence and my judgment, but still you have to witness whole story. Thereby 50% of problem is solved there then and then itself, that okay, my version is completely witnessed. And then talking with the junior team member also, try to show some respect, or try to negotiate openly rather than just simply encountering. So these things, it will evolve over time, not either with a single meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, good, great. Okay. So as you mentioned that one of your team is not that much mature. So what are the some Scrum anti-pattern which you have encountered? And if you can share some of the example with us.
Sure, sure. So typically, this there are a lot many Scrum anti patterns. But with this team, I see the problem with the time boxing. Okay, for example, they are really having a tough time, especially in the distributed teams, like in the COVID. Okay, they are not able to finish the daily stand up in 15 minutes. Okay, and in that 15 minutes only, you can see multiple Scrum anti patterns are going on. They are discussing few user stories, technical discussions is happening there, which is not a right place. So that's where as a scrum master, I had to jump in and make them to realize that this is not the right platform to discuss. We have the other platforms, like backlog refinement sessions and other sessions. Okay, that is no one of the anti-pattern, like discussing no, right wrong things at wrong place, and time boxing is the other thing. And in sprint retrospectives, as I said, the people come with the empty mindeds rather than preparing that. So as a scrum master, what I did before sprint retrospective, in the invitation itself, what is the technique we are using, is retrospective technique we are using in the upcoming no, retrospective, and what is the quantified data available, add that into the agenda, so that people will already come with some thoughts in mind, and at least they'll talk there. So yeah, a lot of coaching and facilitating is going on. And definitely, as a Tuckman's team formation, at each stage, Scrum Master has different role. Sometimes you have to be facilitator, sometimes you have to be coach, sometimes you have to be mentor. These times of these kind of things, these kind of roles, unknowingly you have to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, good. So the next one is what kind of matrices you use in your project?
Yeah. So we have various metrics in the Scrum, especially since I'm using Jira. I have various metrics. but depending upon the stakeholders you are talking. For example, if you want to talk in the team meetings, especially sprint retrospectives and at other places, if you're talking with the team, come up with a burn down chart wherein, guys, we have completed this much, we left with this much amount, and in order to inspire and motivate, you use burn down chart metrics to focus what is left on. For example, if you are going in the next level meetings like Scrum of Scrum meetings, especially in the safe, you will have a interaction with the release train engineer. In that release train engineer, we have ART, Agile release train sync up meetings. In that meetings, you will go with burn up chart. Till this time point of time, we could achieve this much amount of user stories and business values, and this is the trend going on. So the metrics, you have to be very careful on using it based on the stakeholders. You need to identify the right set of metrics and talk with them.
And I just want to add one small thing over here, that always use metric in collaboration with others. So you cannot just use only one metric. You have
Mm.
to use it with other multiple matrices, so that only you will get the real picture.
Correct, I agree, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Okay. So nowadays, as you mentioned, in this pandemic, COVID and all, most of the people are working from their home, right? So as a Scrum Master, what you will do to motivate these team members? Do you spend some kind of team activities or anything else which you want to share with us?
Yes, so recently I'm using few techniques on trial and error based method. It's like an experiment. Sometimes I'm getting good amount of response, and sometimes I'm getting very minimal response. I really like the idea of Miro boards. We have a collaboration tool called as Miro, wherein simultaneously everybody can collaborate. We have a parking lot. We have place wherein what's going on, what is not going good, and what are the areas we can improve. These kind of things. We have a lean coffee events on a weekly basis. We have a 30 minutes of time. We will talk about that in 30 minutes of time. And after 30 minutes, we will talk about general things and how things are going on around us. Recently in last meeting, we have had enough talk on IPL, which is starting in April 10th. So these kind of things now people will start for particular subject, particular people will get connect and the conversation starts. Okay, so the last IPL topic was more successful, and people are eager. So these kind of interactions which helps, which is not possible because we are not going to office, at least in cafeteria or some place at days people will talk, right? These are not happening now. This that you need to recreate those things, something like that. So this is the techniques which I am using. I'm getting pretty good success. Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot, Vinay, for your time today. And I
Yeah.
am sure that our viewer are going to definitely going to benefit out of this wonderful session with you. Thanks a lot, Vinay.
Sure, Sunan, sure. And as I said in the beginning only, I've seen at least 20 videos of your interviews. Okay, I I have prepared my own handwriting notes. Okay, so the readiness is much no, achieved by seeing your YouTube videos, and we have various groups as well. You are doing great service to the community,
Hey,
and
thanks, man.
I'm glad that I'm a part of that, and in future I will try to contribute more because I know the value of what you are doing, and I know what others are benefited from by this.
Definitely, I will definitely going to call you for meetups and all, which we are going to start very soon. So thanks for more time, Vinay.
Sure, sure, Sunan. Thank you. It was good talking to you. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you.
Bye bye.